This is gonna be one interesting reading. Everybody's been kind of confusing. I'm not gonna lie. Everybody's readings has been really confusing. But only because this energy that we're getting into is kind of wild for everybody. It's a wild card. Everybody's getting a wild card energy. We're going to Jupiter and Sag, and that's changeable, and it's fire, and it's passionate. But it's also about feeling, and usually those things can are hard to kind of assess and figure out. And usually we just act through them, we feel through them to kind of get a better understanding. And I feel like everybody's going through that kind of energy. Therefore, this is why the readings are a little bit weird this time around. But the headspace in which you're, at least you or somebody else, if this is not how you guys will see yourselves going forward, right? You just decided to choose this route. Definitely very serious. Very serious. This person is very, like, clear on their truth, aware of their truth. They communicate very clearly. They're very open about their thoughts. I think this person is definitely on a very serious note, though. That how they approach the relationship is very serious, and they're not playing games. I think this person is also very protective of themselves, protective of the what they stand for, and things like that. This person's coming into it ready for the relationship, ready to commit themselves, ready to put their heart and soul into the connection that they've got. They're really looking to put their time and effort into this relationship. Ten of Pentacles. I feel like they kind of they're committed. Most importantly, like they're just ready. They're just committed. They're just in it. It's not much I can say. I feel like they feel also very secure in this relationship. They feel very stable. They feel like because you're coming from you or this other person has this kind of approach with being clear, being open, and just straight to the point with every issue, any issue. Like they're very open about that communication. That that gives this person a great deal of security, and it gives them that also that ability to be just as transparent, which is why they are presenting themselves as the Queen of Swans. Now, just because queens come up don't mean this is just women. This could be males too, guys. This is just the type of energy that comes up usually, and I feel like this Queen of Wands energy is someone that definitely is transparent. It's very open and communicates with you as well. That communicates back, and they're very very transparent. I think that's why they're so. That's why they feel secure because they know that they've you're coming at them with security, as well as they're coming at you with very great authenticity. Goodness, I can't get it out. But we go back to the underlying energy and we see the Seven of Pentacles. And the whole situation is about what do we need to do now to get to where we want to be. Not necessarily like, oh God, I've been doing this for so long. How long is, like, what else do I need to do? Because I'm kind of tired of doing the work that, that has obviously not gotten me to where I need to be. Sure, there's been a great deal of progress, but somebody's having doubts. I think there's a mixture of both. I think on one hand, somebody's really looking at what steps they need to take to kind of further the relationship, while the other person is kind of thinking, all right, even though I've kind of pushed and, worked hard for a certain outcome, is this truly something I want? It's that kind of mentality here with the other person. How you're presenting yourself, how the other person's presenting yourself, this energy here with the Eight of Wands is very fast. Someone's very quick, very clear. There's no confusion. Plenty of communication here. That's what I'm saying. Like, you approach this relationship with all kinds of clarity. You're very open about how you're feeling, very open about your truth, and you're not gonna put, you're not sitting down and just, taking it up the butt. You're like, look, this is what's going on. This is me, what's happening. And I feel like you're really taking a very serious approach to this relationship, especially considering that, this is talking about commitment. And you guys are all about your freedom, your Geminis. But the thing is that you want to take this seriously, especially if you're going to commit to this further. And I don't see commitment necessarily from your guys' end, only because you see commitment as something very serious and something that has to be along the lines of what you believe, which is why this Eight of Wands is coming up. I think for some of you guys, you may be feeling overwhelmed because things are happening so fast, and this person's definitely committing a little too soon, perhaps. Maybe so soon that you don't really, you didn't get a chance to really, assess all the data. But you guys are really fast, believe it or not. And I think it's not that everything's moving too fast for you to catch up. It's like moving too fast for you to actually make a decision about what it is that you want to do. Because I think, it's going to take time for you to make a decision about what you feel, what you want out of a relationship. And this way of doing this is not allowing you time to do it. I think that's why you're kind of like the Queen of Swords, not the King of Swords in this. And you typically wouldn't come up as the King of Swords anyway because you're not an Aquarius. But the thing is that the Queen of Swords, she's a bit passive. She's still very direct and and straightforward, but she's got a bit more of a passive and more feminine approach to it. So I feel like you guys are taking in information and you're trying to think things through. And when you're ready to express your truth and, come up with whatever, whenever you come up with your truth at all, you're happy to express that. But until then, you have no idea of what it is that you actually want to do. That's why you're not in a situation to commit. You're not looking to commit right now at all because you're not sure of what you are actually looking for. You're trying to figure that out. And the reason why I say that is not just because the Queen of Swords is in the headspace of this reading, but it's also the foundation. This is where you're coming from. This is why all this is coming up. It's like you're coming up because you need some time to reflect. It's coming up because you're coming from a place of reflection, of contemplation, of rest, of pause. Time to really kind of assess what you believe and what you think and what your perspective is. Because I think there's a lot of stuff happening right now and it's great, it's wonderful, but it's still like very serious business. And because this is talking about conformity in some way, even though a commitment in a relationship is it can be a wonderful thing, not everyone sees it that way. And I feel like for some of you guys, you may not be feeling that way necessarily because you don't necessarily know if you really want to do all that work to commit. You don't want to be attached. You don't know if you want to do that. Not that you don't want to be in a relationship. You just don't know, right? You just want some time to really think about what the Seven of Pentacles, what this Ace of Pentacles means to you. Because this person started something brand new, putting in work, starting to build a relationship, starting to build a great foundation with you or for themselves so they can continue to build on the relationship. Like I said, Seven of Pentacles here is a split reading. It's a split understanding as well as split split comprehension of this reading. Somebody's looking at what they need to do to continue to build on the relationship, assessing and waiting on something, while the other person is trying to figure out if this is worth it, right? They're 1 foot out the door, but they're also 1 foot in to the door, if you know what I'm saying. Underneath that, yeah, look at that, the Hangman. It's interesting to talk about waiting a second. Ace of Swords, yep, waiting for, trying to understand something. They're just trying to get a better understanding, I feel like, guys. Now, what brought you two together is the Nine of Swords, which is very interesting. Because it's saying that some stress, lack of sleep, doubts in itself has gotten you guys together, anxieties, things like that. What brought you guys together is the similar insecurities that you may have had about your life, about yourself, about your relationships, period. But the things that you are challenged on now has to do with the defensiveness, right? Seven of Wands. Not the defensiveness of what you guys have against each other, but the boundaries. I think maybe one of those things. But defending the relationship, their position on the relationship, even in a way defending yourself, but not in a oh my god, I'm being attacked kind of way, but like I said, the boundaries sort of thing. I'm going to clarify that. I'm going to ask why the Seven of Wands is the challenge. And the reason why the Seven of Wands is the challenge is because of the Queen of Wands. I think someone's jumping the gun a little too much. I think somebody's probably jumped the gun. And because they feel great passion, they feel great, that sense of energy surging through, and they really want to commit. And I feel like that's fine. I just don't know if you're feeling it. Queen of Wands. Could be this other person here that's ready to commit. But the thing is, too, is somebody's probably really ruthless as well. Really willing to do anything and everything they can to get what they want. But I think it's to protect the relationship, protect what they have. They're willing to beat the crap out of somebody just to protect what they have. Wow, what's interesting that you guys get the Between the Worlds cards here for your your Wisdom of the Oracle. That's pretty brilliant because the situation does look like it's kind of going into another world, a new phase in your life before one's really completed. And the reason why I'm saying that is because of how the situation is looking. One person is looking to build a relationship while the other one's trying to figure out if this is something they actually want to put the time and effort into. And I don't think it's, like I said before, I don't think it's because this person doesn't know if they really want to be in a relationship. It's not about commitment issues. It's about the understanding of the seriousness of the commitment, and understanding their boundaries, and understanding what their truths, and understanding what they want out of it. And the two between worlds is like, so I don't think this person's completely cut all ties with this old part of them, so they can transition into something new. There's somebody that's still kind of, like I said, one foot in, one foot out, but not in the sense of commitment like I was using earlier. But this time, it's in the sense of their area in life, right? There's closing doors while opening new ones, and I feel like this person here is kind of doing the same thing, right? But they're not doing it in the sense like this individual here, where they're trying to kind of, they're a little reluctant to close those old doors, because they, in a way, they kind of feel like they don't feel really, and I feel like this person doesn't necessarily feel like they have everything they need from that old phase in their life before transitioning, right? That somebody feels like they're leaving something precious behind, or something dear to them behind, which is why this is looking real fast, and this, you have to make a decision about what the hell you want to do, right? This other person is doing something else. It's very similar but different, in the sense of they're trying to close those old doors really fast. They're trying to quickly get them out the way, done with them. They're trying to start something brand new, but they haven't closed doors here. There's something personal that they're trying to close the doors on, close the door on, and it's because they haven't really completely adjusted to everything. Like, there's some things that they still need to wrap up with the Between Worlds card, and the fact that they're rushing says a lot, right? There's something that they're trying to get away from. And that's why the Seven of Wands is the challenge. What the challenge that you're both facing is what both defending yourselves against. And it may be two different things. It may be your own separate lives, with different, separate families. It could be something very similar. But the thing is that you guys are, somebody's defensive on moving forward. Someone's defensive on stepping back, or continuing with where they've been. They're ready. They're eager to get the hell out of the situation that they're in. And that's really interesting, right? Of a reading. That's definitely something that's crazy that I'm picking at, but